Well, hi, this is Ken with Village Green, and today I wanted to talk with you a little bit about borders and the best way to use them and what their purpose is. So borders are important in this area. Uh, there are several different types of borders that you can do. You can install this. This is a stone border. A lot of times we'll put in a composite border, which is a good replacement for the old classic steel edging borders that we used to see. So there are a lot of different types of borders out there, and there's also one that's called a drop edge, which means that you don't really have a firm border. It's simply a little bit of a trench that you dig between the grass and the landscape. That drop edge works really well up north because up north they have grasses that aren't as aggressive as ours. The drop edge obviously is less expensive. It's not my favorite because pretty quickly the grass tends to want to go in, and even with good weed eating, you tend to lose the shape of the bed. So this stone border is really my favorite border by now that we install. And the purpose of the border is not just to keep the grass out, but what we want it to do is to complement the plants and the landscape behind it without drawing the attention to it. So one thing that you want to pay attention to is when you're doing, a lot of people talk to us about installing a stone wall. Those look nice, but you have to be really, really careful with them because if they get very high at all, now they start drawing the eye and instead of and becoming the focal point of the landscape instead of simply being something that complements everything else. So generally speaking, if we can at all possible do it, we prefer doing the single layer, or what we'll call a single course border. This particular one is installed without mortar, which we do quite a bit of. It gives just a nice natural look. You can be more formal and do mortar if you'd like. You can see that the joints on this are really, really tight. That's because we use a stone saw so that the stones are able to stay very close together. And the main thing that you want to do out of your border is the border sets the tone for the flow of the landscape. So you can see on this, it wraps around the house, and if it's done well, then it creates a nice flow for the whole rest of the landscape. And you can see how it just flows from one side of the sidewalk on over to the other and then wraps around the edge of the house. So that is the best way to install a stone border, keeping in mind the flow and keeping in mind that you want to keep the grass out and also that you want it to complement the rest of the landscape. This is Ken with Village Green. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channels and send them on to your friends and family. Village Green, growing plants, growing people, and growing relationships.